Regarding attendance, I believe that Suzanne will be here shortly. And I did send out a reminder, just, sometimes the days get busy and we forget what we're supposed to be doing, so I sent that out a little while ago so she knows. John will not be here tonight, and Emily had another commitment, so she couldn't be here, but we have discussed at some length the things that she's looking for and, wants for her proposal, for her bids. So we can't approve those minutes, number 3, but if we can say that that was a work meeting, and I have some minutes jotted down from our being at the resiliency meeting with those folks. And I'll just throw out a few of the things that I concluded in my notes, and then I'd like to hear what some other opinions are and things that people got out of that, because there was a lot of information. I forget his name now. Alan Kratz, is it? Yeah. Yes, he had a lot of information for us. So we started at 5:05 for that meeting, and we found out that Dawn White had resigned, and we also found out that Suzanne was going to call in later, and then that made, I think it made a quorum when she called in. We found out that this grant opportunity that those folks are considering opens in June. The applications close in August. I don't have a date. Ralph, do you know the date?
I believe it's the 29th of August. That's just from my memory. Alan did send me a few emails this week. I think it had the 29th is the
Okay, well, that gives us a bit more time.
and you have a chance to collate the emails and send them out. So the recollection.
Okay. So not the 1st of August, that we know it's later in the month. Oh, great. Okay. He did say that the Emerald Ash Borer situation, he believes, qualifies. And that they would want, some of the things they would want, which I know that those of you who write grants are very familiar with, but a cost estimate, a budget, projected outcome, and several letters of support, it said. So I'm not too sure whether we get one from forestry perhaps, and the town manager perhaps. I don't know how you think that should be.
Ralph.
And Ralph, of course.
Public Works Department, maybe.
Okay.
Head of the Public Works. As well as, we don't have a civic. Sure, we could come up with something.
Is the council fit in that situation?
Sure. The mayor.
Okay, let me just write those down. What else did you all think on that?
I don't know how deep we discussed that part.
Maybe Great Pond Mountain.
Oh, that's true, because they are dealing with it. They have a plan underway.
They would support some effort.
Possibly the town of Warren, because I was surprised at how much they're doing.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they were banding these trees and setting out these traps and so forth, so that's a thought.
Yeah.
And Maine Forestry. And then we found out that Emily's having a hard time getting quotes. And there are several reasons, but the broadest is that the area is just too big. And that's why the maps are here. After the meeting, she told me that I mentioned, what if we whittled this down and eliminated most of, but not all, we have these 2 large parcels, one on the Silver Lake boat landing side, that goes out to the point, and then the one behind the town garage. And she said that she thought that it wasn't a crisis if some of those trees fall, because there's not, the risk to the public. So, but we did determine that we thought that the boat landing, where people park and put their boats in, and maybe the kayak launch site, which is what I call the Boy Scout trail up on that little ridge. Probably should be included because people park up there and use that facility, but other than that, she thought we could cut a lot of it out. So one of the things I wanna find out today from you all is if you think on this Central Street side, any of that should be included in a estimate, inventory estimate. Like
Trail system would be something that we would.
in the whole piece, I mean,
Well, I think the goal here is safe, for me, it's always been public safety is the priority
Agreed.
issue. So anytime you have a trail system, including Miles Lane, there needs to be some sort of, I think, plan to go through and eliminate ash trees on 50 feet each side of the trail or something like that.
absolutely, we thought that too.
You go through, so that Central Street area is just as viable, although I'm not so sure it's has much ash pop, because it's been a long time since I've been out there. But Miles Lane has a considerable amount of ash.
Absolutely.
Because it's wet.
We just thought that the public use of the Central Street site beyond the Arboretum,
So
And maybe-
the Silver Lake Trails is they're referred to, right?
I guess they are, I forget to do that,
Yes, they're the Silver Lake Trails.
yes. And there's a
And-
canoe launch site there,
Yes,
just a little ways in,
yes.
and the Arboretum. But beyond that,
Right.
it's pretty rare that people are using it, not terribly likely that they're gonna get smacked by a falling ash tree, I don't
You're
think.
playing odds now, so
I am.
That's something I don't want to get involved with the odds issue. My feeling is that you do an assessment of what potentially unsafe locations and remove these trees. But certainly some people could argue the whole property for other reasons other than safety might be a reason to go into these properties and do a complete census, but I'm not one of those people right now. This whole thing with 78.92 acres of Miles Lane,
Mm-hmm,
one can go through most of that on trails, I suspect, and be able to determine, especially in the winter, where your ash trees are located, just by visuals, because the trails intersect and don't have that much foliage in between them. But that's me being speculative. I think it's important that these trails be reviewed, and I came to the council a few years ago and proposed just getting somebody in with a tractor with a farming winch or something and a cable, and go down through 50 feet both ways and pull these ash trees out of there. That may be a safety issue, but may want to take more. I don't know, but that would be a decision the council would make. But I think just to say, well, nobody goes there is chancy.
well, remember, this is just so we can get a rough estimate.
Yeah.
For a cost that we can submit to
I understand.
for the bid,
Yeah,
for
I
the,
understand,
yes, the
and
bid.
I think it's important that we maintain the safety aspect, leave it at that, this bid. Just maintain what's safe, what's unsafe locations for people. And
The responses that Emily has been getting is that's too broad and too many acres for them to give her any kind of a price. She even talked to Fox, as you know, he's on Route 1, on the Ellsworth Road, and does a large business, and he told her it's just too broad.
again,
So-
we've got it narrowed down on this chart here now as to where these locations are. They've never had a look at any of this material though, right?
They have not,
Okay.
no.
And we're not talking about 78.92 acres of Miles Lane, we're talking about the trails that are in Miles Lane, which the public
Right,
uses.
no, that's
quite a bit.
absolutely true, yes.
And I'm assuming a distance from one side to the other.
Hi,
Well,
this is Luke Cavelli, in case you don't know,
I pulled it another time once already. Do you need help with this?
we're apt to.
Not right now.
We're getting there. I'm waiting a few minutes for Suzanne Phillips, before we really get into it too much, but we are in the discussion point.
I have them
Yes,
off
please.
as it is.
Is that
thank
too
you,
much?
Luke.
Thank you. We'll holler in a minute.
All right.
He's my son too, by the way. So I can holler at him. All right. Well, I don't, but oh yeah, sometimes. It happens.
I hope you do.
So,
So you're saying, I guess I don't understand your point about not doing everything on trails, specifically on Silver Lake. What is it about Silver Lake? So do you believe that whole back lot down behind the town garage is not worth going in and looking at?
I believe that what Emily was saying was that from a trying to get a price for an estimate. Those two large pictures, pieces, one is what, 69 acres and the other one is 87 acres or something like that, is prohibitive. It's making it more difficult for us to get a price at all, which we have to have in order to apply for the grant. So Emily was hopeful that this work that Rich has done for us would enable us to narrow things down so that you can get a price. Now,
I mean, that's a huge chunk of all this list, of those two parcels.
when you say the Miles Lane trails, I think you mean the trails behind the fitness center, the health center, I'm sorry.
Right.
Those we both think should be included. But what I'm talking about is behind the town garage,
I understand.
which is kind of wilderness-ish. You know what I mean? It's not,
I understand that, but your criteria is nobody uses it, or very few people use it, therefore it's not worth going in and doing it.
no, I know
And
that's,
And I don't agree with that, so I just feel that we should have safe, trail systems that people are gonna have.
and again, you're suggesting that someone go through there.
Through the trail system.
Well, it isn't much of a trail, but there's a rough trail,
For more
yes.
reason, yeah, just we're trying to be safe and keep the trails relatively clear of ash trees, 50 feet both sides. The rest inside will die and come down. Hopefully people understand not to go in there.
So what about, okay, so what is your view on the point? Just 50 feet either side of the Woods Road?
The point is how many acres here? There aren't that many acres, right?
Oh, yes, there are. It's something like, I always have to look back, but it's in the 60s, I believe. 58,
Silver Lake.
68, something like
Silver
that.
Lake, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's no different from Miles Lane or
Okay,
from
that's called Millvale Road.
there's no difference between that and the one behind the town garage.
No, it's on the
just gotta
Silver
go
Lake
into the
Road.
trail system and make sure there's nothing within 50 feet of either side that can
That's what I
follow the
mean.
trail.
So the Woods Road is the trail
Yeah,
out there
it
to go
is.
up to the point.
Yeah, it starts
So-
on the other side of the power line.
Right, so you're just saying 50
Same
feet
thing.
either side of that.
I'm coming up with 50 feet, I can't argue 150, I mean, I'm just
No,
throwing that
that's what
out
I'm
there.
asking, but it's the Woods Road you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's the only access there anyhow, right?
so Karen, I think that's the fourth one down.
Mhm.
I don't know why it says Miles Lane, it's strange to me.
It says, well, no, it's the
Oh, no, it's the
Millvale
fifth
Road.
one down,
Yeah.
Silver Lake Road.
Millvale Road.
No,
Oh,
Silver Lake Road,
Silver Lake.
5-9.
well, street name is Millvale Road, 62 acres at Silver Lake. Right, the map,
Well, it's, map 5, lot 9, the first page. 7, that's what I'm looking at. Silver Lake Road, map 5, lot 9, 89 acres.
That's what I thought.
That's where the land is, on that side here.
Yes, I think that's it.
okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, that one, all right, got it.
I guess
Silver
it,
Lake
I guess it
Road.
includes that island.
I will,
Yes, Road 1, okay.
well, there's several islands, actually, yeah.
Did
So
you
then-
notice, but did you notice the 9 on that little island? The 9 over on the
No, where are you? Oh, you're on the,
map.
So then what's the Millvale Road, 62 acres, what's that?
The tax map is right there, Karen, the map and lot numbers are right next to it. Once you get the map number,
Okay.
then you can
off
find it.
Millvale Road should be the one behind the town garage.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Central Street.
Got it, that's the Silver Lake Trails.
Well, do they have a Central Street with the large
I don't
acreage?
know, it may.
I don't see it.
Here we
So-
go.
Well,
We're on map 5, you see the transfer station, and then you see in behind it, which would be the garage, yeah.
Yes. Yes,
Map 5, lot 15, right?
I believe so. Show us what behind the town garage, our public land.
15 and 516, got it. 5, 9. That's right, we have these.
515 and 516.
Right,
Is 16 the island you were talking about?
All right,
No, 6, that would be map 2. Map 5, 9 is the island.
15 isn't that like?
2 is the village, and then
Is this the Silver Lake Trails?
got it.
right.
Behind the town garage where the canoe launch is and the, okay. Not the Miles Lane Trail. Sometimes I get those.
Silver Lake Trails.
You can see the Arboretum Road where the parking is down at the bottom, that hook thing.
Oh, yes, yeah. Oh, good.
There's the road in there, the Arboretum.
Okay,
And the trails are up about
so
15.
the map, as you can see, I don't see a clear-cut trail in through there.
Oh, there it is. Goes right here and goes all the way down around the
Yeah.
point.
I've walked it, but it's pretty rough.
Yeah, it's very wooded, so yeah.
I
Yeah.
think they've been working on it, but
Good to know.
Yeah.
All right, so Chris, duly noted that you think those should also be included in the estimate.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I believe.
So now I wanna see the other side of the lake, what you and I call the point, Luke.
Right there,
Yes.
okay.
There's the road in there.
The entrance is way
and
up,
then the-
right?
Yep.
Yep. And the Woods Road, we think, is the only thing that people use
Right.
regularly to walk in there. And it goes all the way out to the field, right?
Yes,
you can still get to the old road that goes through here from, but people park at the power line and they walk in. You can kind of see it zigzag through there.
I think when Rich did the video, that was included in some of the video that they did.
Which would be what we used to use.
Yes, that was the road we used to use.
Right.
mhm.
Really nothing more than a snowmobile trail, really. So,
All right,
So I would say we don't have to include that trail because it's not even publicly advertised that it's a walking trail. Right? Silver
Well-
Lake trails are advertised, Plain trails are advertised.
We're
This
hoping
place
to,
is not.
right? We're hoping to in the future.
we are.
That's
Isn't there a sign over on those trails of some sort? There is not.
not that
That's
I.
been a debate
not
of
that I
getting
saw.
some new signs in.
If there was, you know, I haven't been over there in years, but I thought there was years and years ago, but
It's
do you remember?
it's
Lou?
gone. I couldn't see any.
I don't know. I know, like Chris said, that it's something that's been discussed, but,
We've updated.
and you are allowed, anybody's allowed to go in there, but I don't think it's
Yes.
advertised. So,
It's promoted as a trail by the town.
the town crew dumps brush and stuff up in here.
Yep.
And then there's a gate there, I believe.
Right, not a lot of use there. So,
Because the
mine-
access is really difficult.
Well, yeah, but not in the winter, so to speak. They still run snow sleds up there on the field at the point. At least they have in the
And there's
past
snow.
when there's snow, right? But again, that's access that we have to keep an eye on. Alls I'm trying to determine is where the ash trees are that can crash down on people on trails. That's it. That's my standard. So to say, well, one part doesn't get much use, that's true. But if one person goes in there and it crashes down on them, we got a problem. So there's only so far you can go. But I just think eliminating one part of the town. What do we got? Four places here, and that's pretty much it. The rest of these places are pretty
There are?
pretty minuscule.
all right, I need to get into this a little more.
I'm talking about large acreage. You've got a 2376, a 7892, an 89, and a 62 of all these yellow ones here. So that gives you what, 189, about 250 acres. That's rough estimate of trails, not acreage, but trails in the acreage.
Okay, show me Spofford Avenue, for instance. It's almost 9 acres.
That'll be down at the town site, right?
It's
Um,
map 34, lot 46. That helps.
Is that the Reggie Ginn field?
It's in the village, it says 8.83 acres.
yes,
Somebody tell me what the yellow means. I missed that. What does the yellow mean?
I believe those are the ones where he thinks,
Am I up too far?
Gonna find ash trees.
apparently,
Well, the
And
others
the
are so
public would be-
minuscule.
and that the public
Oh, he's
would
got
be
one that's-
exposed there.
Okay.
This is what you think it is? 3446.
Yep, 3446. And
Used to
so
be
where
Boy
is it,
Scout
Luke?
area up in there too. Boy Scouts over there,
Where the baseball field is?
to the north of it, yeah. The town's always owned Reggie Ginn, or almost always owned it, after the Oblate. gave it up.
3446 Spofford Ave. Okay, and that's where the Reggie Ginn Field is?
That's it right there.
That's one of the ones she and I thought were important to do. So is the, what do they call that? The baseball field on Central Street.
This,
32,149? No,
That's
That's
not on
too small.
Central Street.
yeah, that's too small.
Yeah, it is,
baseball field. Oh, the Knights of Columbus field.
yes.
I didn't even know we owned that.
Look, I didn't either. That's news. So
Let me
most,
put it another way, I would certainly consider that a risk to public safety. There's kids and people there all the time
if
around that
there's,
field.
are there any trees around the ball field, period, let alone ash trees?
Does
That butts up,
Yeah,
that
there are,
butts
but-
up to Miles Lane, right, or comes pretty close to it.
But, you know, people drive up in here and they park behind the fence to watch the games, and the kids play back in here.
Right,
Yeah.
that's.
I don't know if any of these trees are ash.
Well, that's right.
That's why we go out and find out. But
Does the town own it?
it's not that far from, it's not on the list?
It says Dan Deneo Inc.
Oh, okay. So I guess I'm wrong on that.
Not
I
a
have no
town
idea what that is.
property.
Race, on the race course, right?
And down at the end, halfway down is where the Miles Lane trails come out too.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was one thought at one time that if they could get a couple landowners to agree, they could connect the Miles Lane to the
See, it's race course right here.
other trails out there, the Silver Lake trails or whatever they call them.
Ralph, do you have Suzanne's number in your phone?
I don't.
Let's see where-
I'd like to know if she's gonna make it. All right, how about the Elm Street one?
Nope, I don't have her. I might have it in my office, but it's not in my phone. Elm Street.
Mm-hmm. Map 33,
It'd be
014001.
the labor.
I do not have her number, I have her email.
I don't have a number either. That is
Looks like a ball field to me.
the playground, right?
Elm Street. Is that the
Street.
old baseball field?
Yeah, I don't think there's too much there.
I don't think there's any trees there. Well,
Not
maybe
much.
right.
Yeah, down
Unless
along
it's over
there.
by the old, the
Well, that's
little
where
Warren.
the, isn't that where the soccer field is?
No, that's
No.
over by the high school.
No, but on McDonald Street, that was that field is, your school, where your vote is, right, the school that goes to, right?
The other side is.
There's that school that you vote at?
Oh, that's
the
the
Jewett
Jewett
School?
School.
Yeah, that's where that lot is, right?
No,
No.
Jewett School's over here. This is the Jewett School. That's by the pool.
Okay, down low.
There's no field.
You're in the right neighborhood,
I
Ken.
know, I
Just on the
wasn't.
other
I think
side of
another, I think I'm on another map.
So I guess the question is how many trail systems? What's the distance in trails that we would ask somebody to come in and do an assessment? They don't have to walk over 63 acres or 72
Right,
acres.
this is what we're trying to avoid because that's the
Right,
response she's
so what we're
getting.
looking for is how many miles of trail somebody will have to do on these major locations.
Right,
That's it. That's it as far as the public system goes. Now, if somebody thinks it's a good idea in the council to go and do a complete census of trees and all these, that's a different issue. I think my concern's always been safety.
right.
Safety of people.
Right. And I agree with that. Only I just want to get this
Isn't
show
there a
on the road if we're
ballpark
going to do it.
there?
And in order
Somebody
to do
plays
that, we need
soccer
a,
and they play-
we need a price.
Well, right, but we've got
This is
we've got the
the,
locations,
the
now we
old
have to determine
Yeah.
how
Where
many
the
trails are
old
in there.
folks home is now?
Make
Don't
an
they
estimate.
have, don't they play
Right.
games here? No?
No, it's here.
Over there?
This,
Oh, now, did
Oh,
y'all
no.
flip the
No,
page
You're right.
because he has a
That's about
nice
the- This is
description.
where the old folks home is, right here.
That's what I've been.
Is that what you were about
So
to
I don't
say?
know
Yeah.
what school that was, but that's an active field.
Yes, that's where I was at earlier. That's,
We need to define a trail, like at Reggie Ginn,
Okay.
is there a trail there?
Not
Anyone
really,
know
but
about
the big concern
besides
is that,
locals?
right, there's kids playing there all the time in through that woods, through every
Okay.
game,
All right,
so that's kind of
it's mostly pine trees up in there.
it's a lot of
Okay.
pines, but I don't know, I haven't checked every tree. But I
Yeah.
know there's a lot of kids there all the time. All right,
A lot
so,
of kids from the Middle Street Park, Seminary Road complex up in there, they play down in there, so.
Yeah.
How many miles does anybody know of trails, the walking trails behind the health center?
Miles Lane trails.
Thank you.
I don't know the exact number. I would say somewhere around 6 or 7 miles total.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought it'd be more than that. I didn't,
No, and
No, I
the
mean,
trail system, I mean, that's the most elaborate one. It's even more elaborate than the one out at Silver Lake. But the two at Silver Lake, you could probably argue no more than that again. Although
Probably
the
not.
point behind the town garage goes out quite a ways, but there's just one trail going through
yeah,
there.
you go out
Right.
and back, whereas Miles Lane
So
is a big.
we can
big
assume
loop.
that's a couple miles right there. So you, overall, rough shoot from the hip estimate, I'm thinking 20 miles, 25 miles with all these together.
for these three, for the Miles Lane trails,
Yeah.
the Silver Lake Trail,
Yeah.
and whatever I call, the Central Street situation.
Yeah, we've identified a couple other potential ones there too.
Even that, I think, is a high estimate. But
I think so too.
20 miles is our estimate.
I think so too. Probably cut a third of that out, so be safe.
Yeah.
But I'd rather be high than low.
yeah, I get it. That. What else do you need to see?
All right, any other thoughts here?
You've been great at being the screen manager. Thank you. I'm gonna recommend you do this every day.
So this,
It's just what you want, right?
002038, 23 acres in the village is that behind the town garage? I'm no good at this.
Which one is it?
The second one down from the top, 23.7 acres.
Miles Lane. Is it?
Map 2038. Candy does that really well.
I think Miles
Yes, she
Lane,
does.
I
I think
like
Miles
that.
Lane is in 3 sections on the town maps.
Oh, so I need that one. Oh, I see. The 78, the 11, and the 23.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're
and
looking
that's
for Miles Lane.
29.
You're in Silver Lake right
Yeah, because she thought that's where it was, but that's 515.
If you go up the race course road, it's up in that area, high end.
This one,
Yeah, that's it.
thinking.
Here it is. All right.
And that long one to the right of it may also be, well, I guess not.
This belongs to us now.
You're right. That's gonna be the ball field, right?
Mhm.
Well, that's the theory.
But,
Actually, no, I'm sorry. Where's the soccer field? That's the soccer field. This is the one that belongs to us now.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the one that belongs
for
to us.
the, what sport,
Because that was part of Ed
Childcare.
Mercer's property that belonged to Wendy Carpenter.
right,
Right,
We bought
right.
that part.
she
so that we
kept
could-
it.
Well,
The trail
that
system-
needs to be on our list too then.
Trail system comes all the way up through
Comes
here,
up through there now.
goes out around the
But
school.
it's not advertised
goes out
as
through
anything
there.
at this
Hey
time.
Lou,
This,
is that
no,
trail
that's a
system
good
where
point,
Park
Ken.
Avenue is that owned by the town or is that owned by
This?
Wad? Yeah,
No,
that's not part of the
that's
trail
a
system.
snowmobile trail
Right.
and,
Wadwell
Woods
owned
Road.
that, I think.
yeah, Johnny owns it
John, yeah,
and it's for sale, but,
there you go.
yeah, no.
Okay. But the Miles Lane Trail starts to the right of that, the complex there. You can see that narrow band up through there.
Yeah, it goes right up the property line here, around this field, and it goes down across the power line a little bit right here, then goes back up in.
Yeah,
And
goes
then
right up by there.
goes right up by the school.
Yeah.
Goes out around those fields and then up, and you can go out there, or you can just go through
Right.
here. And yeah, the church is right there, so you can,
Right.
there's another connection there, so you can park at that church and walk in from there.
Come up the race course road to that
When we do the
church.
dog walk thing on the festival
The
day,
festival.
I drive in from there and park right there and feed people bananas and water.
And that's where we have the vernal pool celebration,
Yeah, that's like right
even
there.
though it's a farm pool. Who knew?
So that's
It was
included.
full this year, all the rain we've had.
So that was included, that is included in this list then?
Yes,
That's probably the most important one.
I agree.
The-
I mean, that gets a ton of use.
It does, and
Miles Lane
there's- I
Trails.
think there's a lot of ash in
Yeah.
there too, because it's quite wet in there most of the time.
That I don't know. I'm not a tree guy. Yes. My son is.
That's true.
Great.
He's an arborist.
Oh, good.
So,
So, look, I just have a question on the 41, the map that has 0241. On our map here, it's like 41-2, 41, and 41-1. why are there 3 different parcels?
Usually that's a sign of a subdivision. Like, what's the map?
Okay, map 2,
Lot,
off of
what lot?
Right,
41. It's beside the.
Oh, I see it,
Miles
yeah.
Lane.
So it's off Broadway, 41-1?
That is the school. You got the
Okay.
football field, the high school, and the
See
middle
what he's
school.
pointing out.
Okay, so.
High school, football field, middle school.
Alright,
No,
Okay.
Miles Lane, middle
yeah,
school.
so that's the subdivision of 41 into those 3 distinct.
Yeah.
Things, alright.
Are those, well, see, that's,
11.5.
See, the schools belong to the RSU. So Roger wouldn't give up the football field or any of the fields. He didn't believe that this RSU thing was gonna last. So he didn't wanna give up any of our fields. So the only fields that the school owns are the softball field and the ones up at the middle school.
Oh, okay.
The
That's
town
nice.
owns the ones the soccer fields on, all that. The town owns the football field. Yeah,
And I don't think,
So we'd
The
say we do not
RSU
have to include those in a.
the RSU has any,
well, the RSU owns those two. You might have to do the
yeah,
around the football
around the
field.
football field.
which is
Okay.
41-2? No.
But that's not a lot of acreage
It's
or
41.
or even
is the
trails.
one, It's 41.
No, and isn't this part of the Miles Lane Trail?
It is.
It goes
Um,
back there and goes up around.
That's
through.
exactly right,
Yeah.
comes down through there.
So, I mean, that's
Yeah, it does go right
all
by.
part of it, so.
So we would pick that up at that point.
Yeah.
And we could argue that the RSU owns the other side trees, just for the fun of it.
You could also argue that Power Line owns some of it, but.
Yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
Right. All right, so far, Candy and Karen, who are so good with this, and I was hoping Suzanne also, have you seen anything in the yellow that seemed funky? Or do you think these are the ones that should be included in asking for an estimate?
And then the question is, it's not the whole acreage, it's just along, it's a 100-foot
Yeah.
width along the trails.
100-foot width? Oh,
Well, 50 on each side, maybe,
Elm Street.
Maybe 30 on each side. Is there gonna be a tree that's
33,
taller than
14,
30
01.
feet?
Is that the old football field, the baseball
I
field?
think it might be this. Yeah, that's right, it is. I'm sorry, Karen, I interrupted.
so, yeah, we're not talking about all that acreage, we're just talking about
the
the
baseball field.
Yeah.
On the
sides
trail.
of the trail.
How far in do we want them to go?
So if
Chris
we
is
can
saying-
give them, I mean, the bidders.
Yeah.
An idea of the length of the trail
Right.
and the width we wanna look at, that would
Mhm.
help to clarify for price,
Then you
for
can
cost.
Then you can figure out the acreage, yeah.
Alright,
And
so,
I bet Rich has the mileage of the Miles Lane Trail.
so we wanna ask Rich for
It
mileage.
might even be on the
Your map
website
would-
somewhere.
Your map would probably, not that map maybe, but a Google map or something, some map,
It won't have it on the Google map, not the length, but it will.
but you can't measure it, or what am I trying to say?
I could take a rough stab at it, but I'm pretty sure it says somewhere so many miles of trail. Probably on the website somewhere.
These,
Yeah, he can come right up with that. And the width you want, Mr. Chris,
I have
is,
no desire to want anything, I just have thrown that out there. Alls I'm thinking of is a large ash tree, 50 or 100 feet up, comes down on the trail, it's gonna, I mean, I've got them around my house right now, I'm trying to
We
figure
do
out what I'm gonna do.
so,
100 feet tall, really?
Yeah. Yes, I got some
so
big-
50, well, I don't know, I haven't climbed any, but they're pretty big.
They're
Alright.
pretty tall, yeah.
50, so 50,
Well, when you
but
do
didn't
it,
you
let's see.
mention, and Karen did 250 feet either side of the trail?
Yeah, that was my estimate, but I could be just speculating that's a good idea. At the time that I started talking about this, Miles Lane trees were 3 or 4 years younger than they are now. But
As were we.
I think we have an obligation to the town citizens to also consider what we're gonna do with these other properties. There could be on one of these properties that's .28 downtown, there could be an ash tree sitting there.
I mean, that don't have the yellow marks.
Or the ones that do. We're not gonna do all the yellow mark ones, right?
I think we are.
And I thought that was what.
I think
the
that's
yellow
the
marks
point.
were.
I don't have Rich here to ask him,
And
but I
that's
think
good
that's.
news to me. I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Luke,
what
did
it
you,
is.
Well, we've
were
kind
you
of tried
around
to
when Rich was
clarify.
doing this, Luke?
I wanted to help set this up.
All right, so do you believe that the ones he marked with yellow are the ones he thought we should consider as part of our estimate?
But there's gotta be, because that's where your Miles Lane trails are and
It
stuff like
is,
that.
and the smaller ones as well should be considered.
Ball fields.
It just,
Because he knew that, like, for instance, let's say there was an ash tree behind the library.
right,
He marked the
I
ones
wanted
he
that
thought-
included.
Cause these other ones are just little chunks of land and.
that doesn't stop him from having a tree on it. That's
No,
the
it
problem.
doesn't. It's just, they're
But you're
not,
absolutely
they're not
right.
trails.
Yeah,
So
they're
to
not
your
there.
knowledge, that's what he had in mind with these yellow ones.
Yeah, he might be picking out the ones that have the most apt to have people in it.
I think so.
And we could go around and
Cause I think
Some
he's
of
got
these
town
myself.
hall on it.
determine whether there's an ash tree sitting there or not. I mean,
We could.
there used to be a bunch right here until they had to fix the sewer, and they took them all out, and there were people upset about it.
Well, and he has a nice description here too for us, which we haven't taken a minute to look at really.
Oh, yeah, on that next page.
Around the animal shelter. The marina parking lot and walking trail.
Ralph, the application has to be in August, right? You know, because I was thinking it'd be nice to have the leaves go down and be able to look into some of these areas.
We're not trying to take any vote tonight. 'Cause
Ash tree bark is pretty
This time
easy
for
to
you to leave,
determine.
okay.
Do you need a vote for anything?
I would like an opinion
Yeah, you can see the leaves, but
on you, because you were
Sometimes it's easier
at
on
that
the
meeting with the
window.
resiliency committee.
Yeah.
I need to know if our people are in favor of going forward with this application. Because, you know, it's a joint thing. And as we haven't met, since we met with Ralph's group, to say how we feel.
I would be in favor of it.
Okay, so I do need to know that tonight. Okay. All right,
And I'm gonna screw that.
okay.
oh yeah, we didn't think about the waterfront, but I don't think there's any on the waterfront.
Says 3.10 mile network.
Miles Lane.
He did a great job about this.
He certainly did.
Jeez, I'm
He
really
deserves
impressed.
a treat.
And there was also.
Thank you, Shannon. Oh, I'm
Thank you so
sorry.
much. I understand you have another
See you later.
commitment. I don't know if you all heard me, but my question to her was, simply, we have not met formally since we attended Ralph's meeting.
That's it.
So I do need to know
Doesn't
if
say
we
here,
are
but it says on that
all
other
in
one that it's
favor
3.1 miles.
of asking Ralph, you know,
I would have guessed
if
more
they
than
would like
that.
us to join in
If you
and do
add all of
this.
those up.
If we're in favor of it.
Mhm.
So one of the things we have to look at is do we think it has a good chance of going through? I mean, what's his name again? The
Ellen, Ellen let me know that the governor's office of policy has issued a new spreadsheet that shows the categories of eligible product.
Okay. Mhm.
And they added a variety of additional eligibility
Oh, good.
projects.
Huh?
I haven't studied it, I looked at it very quickly, very briefly. I presume it's available on the GoPIF website.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And download, but I have it, I'm happy to send it to you. It's an XLSX file. I asked somebody to turn it into a PDF for me, but, anyway, I can send it.
Okay.
I mean, Alan sent it to me, it's a public document,
Sure.
there's no restriction.
So when you haven't had a chance to look at those and all,
No,
did it seem as though it was broadening out in a way that might be advantageous to us?
well, I did not see anything, but I didn't look for it either, I didn't see anything relative to the actual.
This kind of thing?
I do not know how difficult it is to argue that the ash borer problem is,
Climate related? Yeah.
it's a migration of a species,
Mhm.
and we know that climate affects the migration of species. I personally don't know what the factors are that determine that migration. I mean, I think Chris mentioned wood products industry trucks might be the primary migratory.
They disagree with us on that, you know, it's all about firewood, they always talk about firewood, drives me nuts.
And I thought you made a very good point that one of the hot spots is Madawaska, Edmonton. I mean, there's not a lot of firewood that is, people in Aroostook County don't
That was a long time ago, too.
ship in a lot of firewood. But anyway, so I do not know the answer
Right,
to
okay.
that. And
But he did lead us to believe, did he not, Ralph, that it had a pretty good, reasonably good chance of being accepted.
yeah, I don't actually know that either. I didn't,
At least that's what I put in my notes. Maybe I was just being hopeful, but I believe that I said,
I sort of remember him saying, you know, that
Yeah.
it did qualify, the criteria was stronger than originally thought for this project.
does the ash borer qualify? And he said, yes, it fits the criteria.
so,
So Luke, you're saying that says what, 3 point, how many miles? Was
But
it?
the other trail system thing says 3.1 miles.
So do we cut it from 20 down to 10 as we get smarter with this kind of stuff as far as total number of trails?
Can we do that and still include the properties you want to include though, Chris?
I thought, what'd you say, 6? And I thought, well, let's throw another 6 in there and all the others.
I mean, this is by far the biggest,
It is.
longest trail we have.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Miles
Silver,
Lane
Silver
Trail.
Lake would be next.
Yes.
Silver Lake trails, and those are straight in and out.
Straight in
There's
and
no
out.
loop of that one.
That's true.
Well, there are loops.
Is there?
Yeah,
Oh.
there's a loop on each side. It's
Of
probably
which
at
one?
least the same.
The boat landing side or the town garage side?
We're talking down behind
um,
the town garage.
Silver Lake Trails by
By the town
new
garage.
development behind the town garage.
Yeah, okay.
And there are extensive
Kind of
trails
loopy.
in there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it loops, it loops.
4 different labeled trails
Yeah.
there.
Been a long time, thank you.
So if that map was available, it should have the map mileage on it, I think. That
And
map, there was a
all this
map
work he
posted
did, I
there.
don't know if he did that or not.
Well, say that's another, it's not as elaborate as Miles Lane, for sure. And that's 3 point whatever. So let's say it's another 2 miles.
So Miles Lane is 3.1 miles.
I think it was 3, what was it, 3 point,
Silver Lake Trail's 2.6 miles.
there you go.
2.6, right.
That's the one behind the town garage.
Mhm.
And then we got the other one, which is what, quarter mile, half a mile, or whatever, over by the point, somewhere around that range.
How much,
It
Chris?
could be a lot more than that if you walked the whole
Yeah.
thing. If you walked all the way down to the point.
I'm calling it the Point Trail. I've gotta have a name that works. I've gotta stop calling it the wrong thing. Okay, and that one is how many miles?
There's no, that's not on the trail map.
There's no loop, but Karen, you had an idea?
Well, it's not on the trail map, so
The
I,
Silver Lake trails behind the town garage are 2.1.
I got it.
yeah.
But
That and Miles Lane are the only ones that have lengths for.
So we're just guessing about the Woods Road out to the point?
Yes,
But it goes from way up beyond the power line, not from down where we used to go.
Right. And the Miles Lane trails you said are 6 miles, Chris?
Miles Lane's 3.1.
That's it? Ooh.
I don't necessarily believe it, but that's what it says.
yeah.
I know.
Where did this number come from?
I think the loop is 3.1, but I think if you did all those little trails, it's gotta be more than that. But
Oh, right.
All right, we're gonna get your pedometer. We need you out there tomorrow. Have one.
So no one wants to take a stab at the Point Trail length? 2 miles? To walk out there?
From Central Street to the
No,
point?
from,
Right.
The boat landing
From-
kind of area
Is that
to
Central
the,
Street? Silver Lake Road, from Silver Lake Road.
yes, to the street.
2 miles would be a good stab.
is there a grid? You got a 3,000 foot or whatever it is in the lower right. What's that say, 2,000 or 3,000 feet? Is it 2,000?
I can, With a mouse, I can measure. I don't know how you do it without a mouse.
Well, you've got that, well, now he's up to, what is he, 10,000 feet, or I can't read it. 1,000 feet. Guess it's at 1,000 feet, so you're probably
Okay.
1,800 feet. That's my wild guess.
Emily is the person who has worked quite hard on this, and now Rich, so I'd love to be able to give them some, especially Emily, some real figures that she could use.
Sorry.
About half a mile.
I think that's where the gate is. It's about 2,000 feet. So yeah, it's about half a mile. I don't know if you're talking walking from out there by the road
Yes,
or
yes,
Right, so you-
the road.
now you're talking 3,000 feet. And I'm sure it's not straight lines like that. So I would say at least a mile by the time you do all the,
So we could be wildly generous and say 2.
In and out. One side, I don't know.
Okay.
I think that's,
that still keeps you at 10, under 10.
It does.
we need mileage here. But I think, the other thing too is that,
Well, it's 10 without counting Reggie Ginn and
right,
some of those places.
all these properties need to be looked at, even though they may not be,
Right.
large. There could be one tree over on whatever street that's gonna go down sooner than all the others. I was through Belfast the other day and saw the destruction there. It's really incredible.
Really?
All these trees, yeah. It really isn't. Once it gets in there, it's quick. It's within a year.
Have they started cutting them down, you mean, Chris?
No, I think they're still working on it. They got a lot of problems. So once it goes, they go fast. They don't hang around. They crash down within a year or 2 or 3 after. Yeah, the ash wood.
So they don't just make them die, they eat into them like a woodpecker or
So
something.
they go around and girdle them, but they just,
Termites.
but whatever that wood is, it
Yeah.
just goes quickly once it's dead
Huh.
So where were you looking in Belfast?
on the
Yeah.
main road.
The main
Yeah,
road?
I'll show it to you sometime.
I was just over there. I wish I'd have known. You know, to look. I had an appointment, but.
We're gonna see it soon.
All right, all the more reason to get this in. Oh,
It said it's in Orrington now. It's been seen in Orrington. Is that-
It doesn't surprise me. There was a lot of it out in Herman.
I think he said MDI and Orrington were the
yes,
two
but it
closest to
came,
us.
you sent me that, Chris,
Yeah,
about
they're
Bar
part
Harbor.
of what they do is they go by, county. So, but there was some talk about that, but once it got onto the island, rather than saying all of Hancock County, they just said MDI. But it's just a matter of time. And if it isn't here yet, it will be here soon. So
Apparently, Orland has taken action, so.
there's
they're
not much you
concerned.
can do. You just have to grin and bear it, hope that you're safe getting stuff out of the way ahead of time.
We didn't, in our, oh, and that's another thing I do need to know today, Ralph. Has your group met again since
No.
we were with you?
I'm about to try to schedule another meeting.
Okay.
At our last meeting, we did not schedule another meeting, in part because we didn't know when the governor's office was gonna issue the updated information.
Okay, yeah.
They issued that about a week ago. I was out of town for a couple of days, and it was during the time that I wasn't here that I got a flurry of emails. They were going to issue it in May, and then the deadline was gonna be at the end of July, and then they pushed it to issuing it in June and having the deadline the end of August. That is what happened.
Okay. So do you have having said that, do you have an official position that your committee members are happy to go in with us on this?
No, at our last meeting, as you'll recall, I tried to get the committee to disengage from the generator mess, but provide my personal thought is I would like to see the committee inform the town of what we learned for their future thinking on things like vehicle purchases, whether it's buses or trucks or other municipal vehicles, that they consider battery-powered vehicles with the capability of having what's called vehicle-to-grid capability, meaning be able to use the battery of the vehicle to power a home or a building or
In the event of an emergency, you're talking. Mhm.
and I mean, that's information that we've uncovered and was like, I think it's worth presenting that. So people can keep it in the back of their mind when it's time to buy another truck or buy another bus or whatever it might be.
Mhm.
So, on the topic of the, well, we also discussed a couple of other potential projects involving building energy use reduction
Mhm.
and metal recycling.
Yes, I remember reading a couple of
Now,
those.
It wasn't, some members of the committee hadn't read that material yet, and so we didn't have much discussion about it. I'm hoping that at our next meeting we can, I mean, I'm happy to entertain many ideas, but the way I look at the committee work is, yes, there's a goal of getting something applied for by the end of August.
Mhm.
Sure, that's one of the purposes of the committee. But I also think that if the committee can generate information, ideas that's helpful to the town, regardless of applying for that funding,
Right,
to me, that's a worthwhile purpose.
absolutely. So there's no reason to stop at one thing, is basically what you're
That's
saying.
right.
But I guess our committee does need to know that we have your committee's blessing if we're gonna go
Well,
in together on this.
My committee made no decisions at the last meeting. We didn't have a quorum, at least until Suzanne called in and we were discussing things. There was no decisions.
Mhm.
So I can't answer for the committee yet,
Okay.
because committee hasn't said anything.
So I would assume, I think that Emily and Suzanne are both, I'm really sorry Suzanne couldn't be here tonight because she's been quite enthusiastic about this. So I would say that from our committee side, they are all in. But you do need the blessing from your committee.
I'm on that committee too.
And there you have it, and there's
I'm all
Chris.
in too.
Okay, so that's a pretty good amount.
They're doing great work on that committee. There's a lot of new things that will come along, and I'm sure it'll be great.
So if you can let us know that, because I guess we just need to know for sure that everybody on your committee is comfortable with that and that you are, then we can start talking about, we can work on getting this bid, and we can proceed with talking about putting the grant together and who's gonna do that work. I think Suzanne is planning, don't you, Karen, think that she's planning to work on that? That was in my notes, I hope I'm right about that.
Yeah, we're gonna still present our EAB plan to the town from the Conservation Committee.
Right,
We can,
yes,
we can proceed with that.
that's true.
And then the money we wanna ask the council for is for the inventory. Right?
Yes, but we're hopeful that the grant,
Grant will
But
cover.
we
pay
were
for the
hoping
inventory.
that we could say that, but we can't at this time.
right,
And it sounds like they have a lot to consider in that grant that they might get. Besides this emerald ash borer, which it could be argued maybe is not related to climate, so I
yes, but
understand that.
Mr. Kraus, is it? Said that we could only apply for one thing, because I was hopeful that you could,
Oh,
Recognize.
at a time, yeah.
yeah.
As the committees develop ideas,
Mhm.
I mean, some of the ideas that our committee developed the last year actually got taken care of. They got taken care of through other funding sources.
Okay.
And other people were working on it, we didn't know.
Right.
So my personal view is that as the committees generate ideas, information, and point a way forward, that if a project does or does not fit this opportunity of funding, maybe it'll fit that opportunity of funding. And so one tries to match opportunities of funding with projects that are of interest.
Mhm.
And I don't, we're, of course, in a global sense, federal funding of almost everything is somewhat more questionable and probably less available. And state funding is in its situation and local funding is in its situation. So
Mhm.
it isn't as though the taps are open and all we have to do is cup
No.
our hands under the flowing water and take a drink. It's, but nevertheless, developing a decent project idea certainly helps in finding funding for it, rather than
One thing that's a plus is that Chris, Emily, and Suzanne are on your committee as well, so us making a joint application is pretty solid.
yes. I think collaboration between the committees is very worthwhile. That's why I came tonight.
Thank you.
Yes, appreciate your being here, Al.
And so we're just trying to find out a cost estimate to do an inventory of ash
Yes.
trees
And
along
get that
the
in,
trails
Yes.
subject to where our citizens' safety is at risk.
yes,
And we just want it, so Emily's been working on that, and it's not easy.
it
to
has
get
not
that
been
from-
easy, right,
From a person or a business or anything. So
right. As
we've
soon as she
narrowed it
can get
down,
that, yes,
so for her, then she can get the money, and then we can figure out where to get the funding. But first, we have to know how much money we're asking for.
and even when we find this out, we can go before the town council, you're right.
Right.
And and
let them
plead
know.
our case and
Yeah.
say that we are going to apply for this grant, but please keep us in mind that if the grant
Mhm.
doesn't come through, we would like to have the town consider
Right.
paying for this inventory so that we can begin to basically protect the townspeople from
Right.
safety threats.
Right.
Does that sound reasonable?
Yes.
All right, okay. So, let me look at the agenda that Chris put together here. So, we will get this material, which is wonderful, to Emily.
Yeah, so this information we have today compiled by Rich Rotella
Mhm,
is wonderful and appreciated.
very
And
much
you-
so. I'll let him know that too.
Yes.
We don't, without Suzanne here, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that Emily and Suzanne both said they'd be willing to work on the grant application.
I believe you're correct.
Mhm.
And Ralph, I don't know whether that's, you have someone else on your committee, you yourself or someone else would want to work on it?
Well, yes, in the case of our committee, Alan and Debbie are funded through the governor's office to provide services to our committee. And those services involve helping with grant writing, so.
Oh. I didn't know they could do that. Okay. I mean, I knew they, I didn't know they could help us in that way.
Yes,
So this lead, should the lead then be through the resiliency committee rather than through the
I would,
conservation committee?
possibly.
Would that make more sense, considering that you already,
okay, I believe, I'm not an authority, I believe that the town having established the climate resilience committee and then passed a resolution allowed, means that we're, you can say, a member of, the Bucksport is a participant in that governor's office of policy innovation and futures program. And that means that we're eligible to apply for the
There
funding
you
that
go.
comes through that office. And we have the help of the service providers to do so. Now, I don't actually know whether the conservation committee itself could. I know that the town is eligible to make the application as whether it has to come from Climate Resilience Committee specifically, I don't know.
Well, we obviously are appointed by the town and have a charter of rules that we're supposed to abide by. But these folks that you have, Alan and Debbie,
Right,
that's a step up. So I would think that that might indicate the direction we should be going in.
Right, and then our, what we were planning is to get the town to look at our Emerald Ash Borer Management Plan and see if they want to adopt it. So
That's right, we drew up
that's
the whole plan
right.
and got it ready.
And then I think we just wanted to include the ash, well, the plan can go into ash removal and all that, but we weren't ready to do that, so we
Right.
were just going to consider an inventory. I think the state then came out with, when the Emerald Ash Borer was, established to be here, they did some more work, and other towns are doing other work, but we still have to present our Emerald Ash Borer Management Plan to the town. They have to approve it.
I've been rather focused on the
Right.
grant. We
Right.
do need to get back to doing that
Because,
as well.
that's.
That's true.
That's what we can do.
But
But
we
when
have-
we do the grant,
Mhm.
no,
The plan,
when we do the plan for the town, didn't we feel that we needed that cost estimate that Emily's working on as part of our,
I don't remember.
presentation to
I know
them?
it's been out there a while. The cost estimate for, because we established that we thought we established one of that, because Karen and I had talked about doing the inventory ourselves. But
Yes.
we didn't have the cred, we felt that we warranted that, that the town would feel comfortable in accepting that information from either or both of us. So that's when we rotated over to a professional doing this on a basis that way. The only difference, no, I don't want to talk about that, I'll be quiet. But, no, that's exactly what we talked about. You're right, Karen, as far as, we're doing this with the Resilience Committee, and once in a while, we both deviate through, but with the
Yes.
three of us on both of them, it's hard for me to keep track of it.
of course, of
But,
course.
I think from my standpoint now, I'll editorialize, I don't think the town's got a choice. They're gonna have to do this,
Mhm.
some of this stuff. Maybe not to the extent that we think, but it's a lot easier to deal with this ahead of time than have to deal with it afterwards. A lot cheaper. And the rules change all the time as far as the resources for cutters, people that are involved in food operations, because I was really discouraged here about a couple months ago. I shared with the group that I'm looking for somebody to come in, but they want a lot more. They want volume when they come in and cut my ash out. They want red maple, they want sugar maple, oak, whatever they can get. That's not what I want to give up. But then I hear from my forester saying some of these guys are seeing the prices that they're getting, the arborists are getting out there on individual trees, taking them down. And a lot of these high volume cutters are starting to move into the arborists thing, because there's going to be so much demand once the EAB comes in, that the price is going to go up. So he's going to contact two arborists for me that weren't arborists a year or two ago. They're still doing, high volume cutting. Now they're getting to the arborists because there's a lot more money to be made on 10 trees rather than harvesting 23 or whatever they're going to do. As it gets closer, the price will go up. That's why it's nice to get this for the town as soon as possible, so to speak, so we can be ahead of the curve when the price rises, and it will rise. And budgets, almost universally in the history of the Mid-Atlantic and the Midwest, budgets, and they're never able to keep up with expenses. They'll budget $200,000 and it turns out to be a lot more than that, because it's always a crisis mode, and that's when the prices really go crazy. So that's what I'm hoping, that we can sort of get ahead of this. But now all the other towns are doing it, so
Well,
at least in line.
your point is still well made, that we, and Karen certainly is, that we need to kind of get back to presenting it to the town, because they do need to start taking
I
action.
think any information we can give the council is good,
Yeah,
no matter
so,
what group.
and
it
we
is.
have our plan drawn up. We worked on that, we have it ready,
Yeah.
pretty much. So it's just a matter of, I can meet with Suzanne, we can just review it to see if there's any language changes at all. And
we
then
do,
deciding who should go forward.
we do have,
Present.
we do have a charter of sorts for this committee. that
Yes,
was
we do.
Established, and it's quite interesting, quite detailed, so I wish we had one for the resilience committee to help differentiate subtleties that are a little different.
Right, right.
Anyways,
And you have that on the Google.
yeah, it's on the
Well,
website.
the conservation committee is in the town code.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. We have our charter.
Resilience committee was made because of a grant
Right,
that,
exactly.
that
But that
Rich
doesn't,
went after,
that
and
doesn't
it was a
mean we can't-
requirement of the grant.
that doesn't mean we can't make it a little more permanent or just more money. It is state funded theoretically, so you're right.
Right. All right, so we basically need to be doing two things at once. But this is the next step, to get this material to Emily,
Mhm.
looking at the clock here.
Mhm.
And then she can hopefully have success in getting us a bid, a couple bids, and getting us a price. Meanwhile, I will talk with Suzanne and see about asking to be put on the town council's agenda
Mhm.
to present our plan.
I think so, and we're not looking for any activity or just maybe a pat in the back or something, I don't know, but I'm really not looking to. Well, maybe they would take a vote and say we accept it and we'll move on from there, whatever.
Well, if we had a modest, I mean, I could be wrong here, but I thought that if we had a modest
Yeah.
figure,
That's
say 20,000, I don't know, we could give them, they might be comfortable with it enough to say, okay, see how you make out with the grant, and if you don't, we will consider taking it on. Because it has become,
It's gonna take it
critical
on whether they like it
situation.
or not.
You're
At the
gonna,
end of the
and
day.
you're gonna have to somehow explain that to them. Because right now, the budget is so bad
I know,
that they're not gonna wanna spend a penny unless you can convince them that this is gonna be worse later if you don't do it now.
I've never been successful in the past. I've stood up before
When
them
we
at least
started-
twice. Go ahead.
When we started talking about our Emerald Ash Borer management plan, it was not detected yet in
right,
so close.
right.
So now it is.
Hmm.
So maybe it's just, and then we were not going to address ash tree removal. But now, you know, things move so rapidly with this pestilence here that maybe our focus will change.
It's looking
And-
that
and
way,
then
isn't it?
Maybe people, maybe we don't need to spend money on it, but if we do, we don't know how much, but if we don't, just to make people aware
Well,
that this
that's
is
true.
coming, your ash tree is gonna die and you just need to
Is it
the
hear.
private-
possible for
I
you to
mean-
call Belfast or MDI and get some numbers on what they've been spending?
And we have
I
not
guess
looked
so, yeah.
at,
I mean,
Bangor
what
has
the
done a
towns are
lot.
doing,
Huh?
yeah,
Bangor has done a lot.
yeah, Bangor has
anybody,
stuff.
if you can throw some numbers at the council, look, this is what
Yeah.
these other towns are spending and it's only gonna keep going up.
Right,
That's the problem. The other problem is people, private property, people that own private property, what are their expectations if they have ash trees on their property? Do they think that, are they hoping the town or somebody will set up a program to move that? It's not gonna happen.
They're gonna expect Public Works to do it if it's
I know.
near the side of the road in town.
I know, and that's the other thing. Remember the problem they had at the town site with the sewer and the root invasion in the sewer? There was a question as who's responsible for those trees, because they were between the sidewalk and the road, if I'm not mistaken. How that got resolved, I don't know, it's not important to me, but that's gonna come up, I think, down the road. That's not my tree, that's a town tree.
Well, I also think the power company's got a situation. If these are going to be along the roadway,
They are up on Route 15, I
A
can
lot of
tell you.
times they'll take them down, but that's all they'll do.
right,
And then you gotta clean it up. So, cause all they care about is protecting their line and that's it.
There's a lot of ash trees along Central Street as you head out towards the
really.
transfer station on the
Mhm.
left as you go through. A lot of them growing, they're probably this big at the butt, but I have.
If they're
them.
outside the right of way, the town's not gonna touch them.
Right.
But Jay has been very kind to people if they have a tree of any kind in town that's like, this is getting dangerous. Public Works will go and take it down typically, if they can.
yeah.
Unless it's too dangerous, and then they'll hire somebody, but
And that's really good. I think that's great they do that. The volume
it
here.
might have set a bad precedent though,
Well, it
because
might,
with this.
it might. You've got a volume potential here,
True.
not just
Yeah.
one tree, but you've got 8 or 10 or 15 in a year.
Yeah.
And now they're coming down, if you don't take them down, they're coming down quick, they're not like a maple that'll rot itself, slowly down. These things come crashing down within a year or two, and it's ugly, so, I just worry about somebody having one come down on top.
Now,
It's
who,
not fun getting hit in the head with a tree.
no,
I can
Luke
tell you
experienced
that.
that
Don't you?
last year,
That's right,
last fall.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah,
It
big
wasn't an
oops.
ash tree though, it was a maple.
Was it a
Oh,
maple?
wow.
Who is the person that would have good luck talking with other towns? I'm not sure that somebody from our committee is gonna get much in the way of figures. Would I have to ask Rich to do that? Or,
Rich might, he knows a lot of people at
Jacob?
these other towns. Jacob might. I don't know anybody that would know numbers, I only know their code guys.
when is Sue getting done?
June 30th.
If you go to Belfast especially, they have that park in the middle of town, I can't remember what the name is. We were there, kids, remember that park? You don't remember any park in Belfast?
Oh, the Belfast City Park.
There you go.
Yes.
They have a gully that goes down through there. And it's populated with ash trees, huge ash trees all the way. And at the base, it's all Japanese knotweed. And I thought, this is a disaster just waiting to happen. Because once those ashes go, they're not gonna be able to use the park once they go. They're gonna have to take them all out of there. This gully goes a long ways all the way down to the river. And I thought the ashes will go and the knotweed will, I don't know what they're gonna do, but it's a mess. And I thought, Chris, mind your own business, go back to Buxton.
I had to ask about knotweed. It's bamboo.
It's a mess.
Wanting to keep us, that's not good news, Chris, thank you.
Sorry.
So, it sounds like we may need, we'll need to hear from you, Mr. Ralph, on a final approval from your people. And hopefully from Emily very soon, and then I'll see about getting a date to go to the council. But we do need Emily's figure, if possible, right? And do you want to schedule another meeting before the deadline of the grant?
I think so.
Anyone have a suggestion?
Maybe a vast minority of one here. I don't know.
Give me a time frame if you possibly can.
Ralph, we'll have another meeting before that time with the
I was
resilience.
hoping we had it,
So maybe we can report back to the committee, the three of us on the resiliency committee, to get back to. And then determine whether it's necessary to do that. Does that sound like a plan, or is that?
It does. So are you talking about sometime in July?
I would think. Well, he said 2 weeks, so that takes us to the end of,
So mid-July? Well,
as to when we report back? Or
no, as to when we meet.
let's-
with your
let's-
report.
Let's do mid-July.
Okay, so mid-July.
Conservation Committee meeting, right?
Yep.
Yes.
And a report from you guys from the resiliency.
You say you guys, you're referring to,
Yes, that wasn't very professional, was it?
that's not
From
the
you
point.
folks that belong to the resiliency committee.
Maybe we can have refreshments and invite Ralph back.
Okay.
I will let you know if I get a meeting scheduled.
Okay, all right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So
Motion to
moved.
adjourn.
Seconded, Mr. Johnson?
Second,
Meeting adjourned.
6:51, adjourn time.